We set off to build the expedition vehicle of my dreams from the ground up with a $30,000 budget. We documented every aspect of the build from the design process to all the hardships along the way. To be honest, this was one of the most challenging projects of my entire life, but the final product exceeded my wildest dreams. Watch as we build an incredible vehicle for Season 3 of the Tiny Home Adventure series. This is the MUSEROAMER project. On the last episode of the MUSEROAMER project, the truck got wrapped, we installed our cabinet latches, we moved out of our house, I rewired the taillights. The MUSEROAMER makes its first trip into the wild, and I gave a full exterior and interior tour. We spent our first night outside of the shop. Things to get done. Got a big old checklist here. We need to bust all these things out so we can get on the road, start getting after it. And right now I'm working on the Freshwater Fill. Shouldn't be that complicated, but that's what I've said about so much of this project, and everything ends up kicking my ass, so let's do it. This is what we're using for the Freshwater Fill. Has a little lock on it. Freshwater Fill breather tube. I'm gonna start on the breather tube because it looks like it's gonna be more of a pain in the ass than the rest of it. We cut a hole through our 3-inch thick wall construction in line with the water tank fill nipple. I heated up and cut our rubber tubing and installed on the inside. So that came together pretty easy. I had to modify a few things, but basically we've got our freshwater fill here with a little breather there. I'll show you the inside. We have the back of that, there's the fresh water, and then the breather tube comes down to the freshwater tanks. Now I'm into installing the return air for the furnace. It's right here. And just cut that hole out and install that real quick like. So we're working on installing the trim for the door, make this look pretty. It's been kind of an unfinished space for a while. Basically, I added some pine, mitered the corners, sanded flush, bonded the seams, and painted. So just got the door trim installed. We're getting there. Woo! So it's late, but we've got a bunch of stuff done today. Feels super good. I'm gonna put the last piece of flooring in, which feels awesome. Kind of a big check on the list. Been working on finishing up some of the interior stuff. It's all almost done, but big news today. We've got our propane working, so now the stove, oven, furnace, and refrigerator are all functioning. They're all working. We're so excited. Huge thanks to Josh for helping us out with that sort of like higher end technical stuff. Dude's a wizard. It's all works. So it's nice and toasty. We're so happy. Woohoo! Can't believe it. We're like a week out from living in here.
No, Monday.
Ew. A few moments later.
So we're trying to get the water hooked up, and we've got some leaks. First time testing everything. Got some leaking off the shower here. Our water fill had some issues. So right now we're modifying our screens. We built the windows, we finished the trim, did all that fancy stuff, and then we got our screens and realized that they came with this lip here. So I need to plane this down to flat so we can surface mount this to in front of the windowsill. I just cut this one off. You know, nothing about this project has been super easy. These screens are awesome though. The one side's a screen, one side's a shade. This is exactly what we wanted, but now we have to just modify them to fit our application. Phew. All right, so I'm installing our shade slash screens. Pretty excited about these. They were really hard to find, but they're great because our windows opening up awning, because our windows open up awning style. I wanted something that we could have a screen and a shade. So basically the screen comes down or the shade comes up. They connect in the middle and you can go all the way or half or however you really want. Basically pretty easy installation. They've just got 8 screws to go in, and I just kind of centered it. Pretty happy with how it looks, and gonna put 2 screws in to make sure that when I release the clamps, it looks good. Basically, shade comes up, screen comes down. Looks pretty good. Beautiful. All right, so it's time to install our backsplash. We went with this stick-on stuff. It seems relatively high quality. It's actually one of the only things Ashley and I have agreed on as far as the aesthetic of it. So hopefully it goes on nicely. This table does have a bit of an arc to it, so we're gonna have to trim it out with something. So hopefully the discrepancy isn't super obvious. But yeah, this is kind of the plan for it. So here's the final product. We put a little piece of trim here to bridge the gap. This table does slope just a little bit, but I'd say all in all, it looks pretty decent. What do you think, bud? So we've got a rainy day, snowing up in the mountains, I think, but super exciting time to move all of our stuff in. This has been the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life, and to see this all come together and look as impressive as it is, to be honest, this has exceeded what I dreamt about building tenfold. I mean, I can't believe how crazy this thing came together. I'm really excited. I'm honestly a little bit emotional, especially once everything's in there. It's gonna be wild, but yeah, we need to pull out all the painting stuff that we've been working on and start adding the shelves and our bedding and all that stuff. And kicker, whoa, he's got a spot right under his chin that he can't resist. Oh yes, good boy. Ashley, how do you feel?
It's like Christmas.
We moved the drawers and cabinets back into the rig one last time and started to move all of our clothes in. I really can't believe this day is finally happening. It feels so damn good to finally feel like we're making this thing a home. So there's a fun little game Ashley and I like to play called Does It Fit? We've got so much gear to try and fit into this thing. It's honestly not realistic to think that that's gonna happen, but this is what I'm going through right now. I'm sorting through everything. So we've got, you know, camera gear, wetsuit, tiny home adventure shirts, surfboard, kiteboard, boards and skis, speedwing, paraglider, some more camera gear, kiteboarding gear, some propane tanks, more camera gear, GoPro stuff, all sort of little accessories, lighting, books. We've got climbing gear, we've got tools, more clothes, camping gear, more ski gear, and more dog gear. So we've got probably gonna be able to fit about 20% of this equipment in, but let's see how that goes. So on the top of the rig, as you noticed, we got a ski box for the roof. Super excited to have some storage for our skis and boards. So we have water tanks underneath this part of the floor, and we have 6-inch tall steel members for our floor joists, and we have 2 inches of insulation. So that leaves this whole space open and free for storage. So I've got all of my camping gear placed under the floor here. Can't really see it, but it sneaks back further. The backpacking pack, we have a bunch of Ashley's shoes and packs and random crap. And our climbing gear. We actually still have a little bit more real estate down here, so maybe we'll end up putting some more stuff. So since I can't see out the rearview mirror, we are going to install a rear view camera and a dash cam. So we're gonna pull this down. Rear view will face here, rear view camera, and then we'll have the dash cam right in front of that so it doesn't take up too much space. I'm gonna pull all this down so we can run the cables down through everything, and yeah, that's how it's gonna go. Yo!
We took the rig back to Camper Paradise to get out of the cold for a bit while we finished the reverse camera. Over the last few days, we started to realize the paint shop had broken several of the marker lights, as well as see some serious cracks.
So we've got it painted a few weeks ago, and unfortunately we're having some massive cracking issues. All these fiberglass seams ended up splitting and cracking and having some issues, which really sucks. So as a temporary fix right now, I'm just filling them with silicone because I'm assuming it's gonna continue to get worse as we take this thing off road. And then maybe down the road we'll have a better solution to the problem.
These cracks were absolutely soul crushing and still bring me physical pain when I think about how much has gone into this project. The silicone is working well as a temporary fix, but someday I would like to address this properly. Anyone have any good ideas? Alright, I think it's time we take this beast into the mountains. So we headed to the Uintas. I laid my first dog Buddha to rest in these mountains, and they are very special to me. Once we got back on the pavement, I realized we had some serious problems.
So we got up to the mountains, got off the dirt road, and now the truck is not running right. It's making some crazy noises. If anyone has an idea of what this next sound may be, let me know. I'm gonna do 2 slides of it. So basically when I get up past 10 miles an hour, it's this crazy intense vibration, this crazy rattling. It sounds like some metal grinding. It's not good. Go a little faster. Going 15 miles.
On the next episode of the MUSEROAMER project, we have some serious issues with the truck. We install our awning, we have a nice dinner.
It's a meal.
We realize our bed is getting soaked every night, and we have more issues with the truck.
Well, it won't even f***ing start.
And we set off for our first big trip. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to keep up with our most recent adventures, make sure to follow us on Instagram. Massive thank you to the friends and brands who made this dream possible. If you have any questions, we would love to answer them. If you found this at all entertaining or informative, we would love it if you could please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.